Hey there, welcome back. So, Russia acted. Now it's going to be China. They don't have enough influence for an auto victory. We flip their tension markers, see if their posture changes. They have zero. So, from that perspective, it's really good. So, we're going to skip all that. They're going to try to improve their capabilities. So, we have one, two, three, four. We have five capabilities that they're behind by two on. So, we're going to just start from here going down like this. We're going to roll this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the one they're going to try for. Or the first one. Let's roll for it. So they rolled a 5. They needed a 1 to a 4 at a posture 1. So they failed. So now we're going to roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're going to try for cyber. And they failed again. So that was a really good one. Really good, really good. Okay, so next, they conduct their espionage, and they get a +2 to their roll because of this. Come on, roll a 10. A 7 is pretty good. Alright, so for their espionage, they get a +2 because their cyber is 2 behind, or more. So that 7 becomes a 9, and it becomes an 11 because of the marker. Um, yeah, they made it to 11, which is so close to a major meltdown. That is another failure. We get to place a free DARPA capability on cyber warfare, which that's the thing I'm not a big fan of at the moment. Then they do get the +2 again. That's added back. Yeah, so that's what happens to them for their espionage attempt, and they only get 1 because they're at posture 1. Alright, so then they try to improve their economy. We haven't rolled bad for this ever for them. We actually need a lower number. No, absolutely, I'm sorry. This is a worsening economy counter. They place extra focus on the situation. Reduce China actions by 1. They do get to subtract 1. They get to subtract 2 because their relationship with us is a 5. So that 10 becomes an 8, which makes it no change. So the fact that we have a great relationship is actually helping them. But that's alright. That would have been nice for them to lose an action. So their actions are 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9 actions is a lot. And they're going to just spam influence like mad. First thing they're going to do is terror in Central South Asia, but only if there's 5 points, and there's 4. I don't think the rogue state counts. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it does. Let me check. Okay, so everything I saw is it's not considered a terror group, so that would not count then. And so we're going to roll to see if they have to quell internal issues. That is a positive. Alright, so we said that they had 7. 9 actions. That just reduced them down to 8. They spend it just dealing with internal issues. Alright, they're not at war. They don't have sanctions. They're going to spend to do cyber attacks. Roll 1. They are targeting India. By the way, a 6 or higher is a miss. That is not a miss, but since we have better capabilities, it is not a major success either. Increase the regional crisis in Central South Asia by 1 box. That wasn't a big deal. 10 is Japan or Korea. Roll. They do succeed. So 1 to 5 is Japan. So basically we lost our very close with Japan. One Belt, One Road. They get a anti-US trend. So none have 3 or a China base. There's 0 to 1 such regions. Perform option A. Place 1 China influence counter in 2 Belt and Road regions where China has the fewest influence. So we got Asia Pacific. There's 1. And then the next one, Central South Asia, Middle East is the second. So their influence goes up by 2. My dog finally gave me my space back. Thank you. You're a good girl. Alright. That also cost an action. Alright, we keep going. Expand China's influence in neighboring regions. There's no region that has 3 or more, so they don't make a base. They attempt to expand in Asia Pacific if there's 0 or 1 influence counters. Or 2 China influence counters and no base in Asia Pacific. Attempt to expand in Central South Asia if there's 0 or 1. So let's show you what it looks like. There's 2. Otherwise, attempt to expand in the first of the Middle East, Africa, or Eurozone that has no influence. So 1 influence goes in the Eurozone. That costs them another action. Oh, this is an attempt. So we got to roll a d10. Not that one. So I rolled a 2, but I get to add 8. And they need to be 10 or less, so they did succeed. Alright. So now they're going to try to build military. So we got to look at their relative strength. So China, Japan, or India, China. Right now they're stronger in India and they're stronger in Japan. Equal to or lower than, they're going to try to build their strength. Neither of them are equal or lower. Pakistan is not at war with India. The India-Pakistan track is at 3 though. They're going to try to reduce tensions with India. So roll d10. This is going to cost an action. Okay, a 6 is a failure. Otherwise, they would have decreased the track, but they would have placed an influence. Secure the sea lanes if there's at least 2 counters or a base in Asia Pacific. I think they did get the 2 counters. Nope, they only have 1. So we skip that one. If you don't, immediately reduce US alignment in Asia Pacific by 1 full box. So we drop to 6, put a trending pro US on the relationship. Oh, you know what? This actually doesn't happen. I've been misunderstanding this whole game. And I apologize because you can't see what's written. There's a section for secure the sea lanes where you can choose whether to use US or naval forces to intimidate the Chinese. So if I don't, that's what causes this to happen. It's something I can do to modify a die roll for an action that's not actually happening. So I moved this down several times. This should actually be already up there. Seriously, we moved it down like twice because I did this wrong the previous 2 years. Okay, so expand China's influence in Central and South America. Central America, if the regional alignment is less than 7, it is not. Regional alignment in South America is 7 or more. Or there's 2 China counters in South America. That's not neither of those true. Attempt to expand Chinese influence in South America if its regional alignment is less than 7. Otherwise, do not roll. Roll a d10, add the alignment. Okay, that is a fail. But they still spend an action because they tried. Makes me feel good, it's not just me. There's no sanctions. Oil partnership. Roll a d10. Goes down to 2. 3. Place a China's influence marker in South America. Make a regional check. The regional check is against the alignment. If I would have failed, it would have had an anti-US. Cyber war against the US. Alright, we're going to roll. I think a 1 is good for us.
Hey, would you guys like to help me in a war?
Oh, they only do this, I'm sorry, they only do this if their posture is 2. So my apologies. Prepare for war, which they skip if the US is 4 or 5.
Actually, I might not.
So in the event that we get to the end, they have 2 actions left, not 1. For each remaining section, roll a d10, determine a random region, and place a counter. So I'm going to take that 1. That means China puts 1 here. And then the other one has a 4.
Bro, Styria says attitudes
They
towards
put 1 there. That makes them go up 2. The good news is these are all regions where I can hammer them out. I just need actions. Alright, so China is done. That wasn't horrible. Okay, we get to do any 3 actions. Again, domestically, other than these terror groups, we're okay. It's out here that I have the concerns. So I think we have a regional crisis here. This one's an easy grab. So let's roll. A 5 gets rid of that marker. Right? And so then this is another easy grab. This one, like I said, I have to do another action. These are easy grabs. So is that one. And this one. Alright, so they're all, frankly. Let's get them out of the Middle East. So attempt 2. Gone. And attempt 3. Gone. So we just dropped them down 2 more. I know there's other things to do, folks, but like to me, pushing back their influence is one of the primary things we need to do. So then, where are we? We're here. Now we're gonna see the madness. Of course, it's a domestic crisis. 5. Now this is that chart that I accidentally looked at when it was a domestic failure, and I thought it was getting me all confused. Alright, so we place 1 tension marker on the cabinet. I'm just going to cover it up. I think that's easier to see. Alright, we rolled a 5. There's no DRMs. -1 relation with Congress. I just find it really interesting how this is crashing. -2 public approval. -1 public relations. We're still at 5. Move bipartisan marker 1 to the left. That's a problem. Oh, this is really nasty. Now I have to make an RWC check. I passed. Oof. Otherwise I was going to lose a friend. Yeah, that was a horrible domestic crisis. Okay. Thankfully there's only one of those in the cup. And it has a plus. Cascading event from group 3. We're going to do that one. Alright, if Eurozone stability are 5 or higher, and the economy is 5 or higher, it is. Same as the from the crisis deck. What does that mean? From the crisis deck. I would assume it's like this for the C. So worsening economy counter on the Eurozone and +1 regional crisis. So they go up to 3 and they drop 1 level. The good news is this card's gone, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. Alright, so that's done, but it's a plus. And we're going to draw 1 more crisis card. Saudis make major push. Moscow furious at low prices and lost revenue. Remove 1 Russian influence from the Eurozone or Eastern Europe. That was great. That's 1 less action for us. Place 2 tension on Russia and Saudi Arabia. Come on. And then 1, 2 for Saudi Arabia. Place an economy improving counter in the Eurozone and a worsening one on Russia.
Can you go put your troops on Nuremberg so I can piece them out?
And that one gets discarded. So that one actually was a good one. Mostly, unless those tension counters somehow ruin our day. Alright, we drew our 3 road group X. It is group D. which is going to be our favorite friends from Canada.
Yeah, me
So we get. Oh, I forgot. When we had 3 actions, I need to get Japan back up to very close. Ah, that's one of my actions I need to remember to do. Okay, Canada gets 2 joint actions.
How dare you?
They're allowed to operate in Eurozone
There's literally
or
not
Central or South America. They can't remove influence markers. That would be really nice if they could. They could do humanitarian aid or they can try to increase stability. I think we're going to try to increase. So we're going to use 1 action to reduce that regional crisis, which succeeded. Then we're going to try to increase stability, and now we have a +1 or a -1 to our DRM. We need a 1 to 4. And we did it. So stability goes up to 5. That was a great use of Canada right there.
Oh no, I don't have a leader.
And then they do have stress. It's a 1. I'm going to drop that in, shuffle. They're going to get 1 back. And we're going to roll for their table.
Okay, are you ready to do that thing?
Alright, so they got a 6, +1 is 7. There's no Russian influence in the Eurozone. No 3 or 4 terror group in CONUS. And I think they get a +1 because their NATO thing is going to be, yeah, it's greater than 1. So they're at 8. Join US sanctions. So there aren't any sanctions, so they're going to roll again.
I don't know.
That's going to make it a 9. Join anti-terror campaign with US. Reduce 1 terror group in CONUS, Central America or South America by 1 level. This is huge because I need to get rid of mine.
Dude, I stack right their armies twice now.
And I know we need to get rid of them in the other areas too, but this is the priority right now.
Like, you can stack clear war.
So that was a good one.
Wait.
Alright, Canada's done. Next is Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia has an action point bonus. So their first action is they're going to remove 2 tensions from themselves.
Wait, I'm not there.
The second action is they're going to remove 2 more. And then the third, they're going to try to
Oh.
reduce the regional crisis.
No, that's okay.
And that does work. Now they should have tried to increase stability
Wait, no, Syria's not voting for me. Oh, no.
because this is their region and that was a great opportunity to do that, but I don't know. I guess I could have kept tension on them. But I'm going to live with my decisions. Having no tension is also good.
I don't really have manpower.
We roll a 9. That would have like put them through the roof. They would have gone to war and all this other stuff.
Dude,
So
dude,
that
the Marines
becomes a
side.
-1 to 8. The current value on so it's half. So that goes back to 9. And then they're not at war anymore. So they would have gained a +1 to their strength if we would have rolled really high. But anyways, we're at 9. Increase relative strength versus Iran in their favor. Increase the conflict by 1. Well,
Also, you can probably piece them out.
I just needed them to roll 1 lower. That 7 became a 6. Which one did I roll? Was it that 7? No, I rolled the 9. That's what my issue was. Yeah. Needed to roll 1 lower. It would have had a much better outcome for me. Okay, next is rogue activation.
The e-girl instantly contacted me
So we're going to roll d10.
She's crazy.
The highest level game created rogue state axe. So there's a rogue level
That's
2,
not 5
but they have a minus 1
That's
AP.
not my president. Bro, what do you
So I think that means they lose their turn, so nothing happens. Last but not least,
No, I actually think Trump had a better shot.
we do Central South and Asia Pacific for any unstable states, and neither of them have any,
Well, if it's Kamala Harris,
so it's done.
there's a lot of people in this U.S. that would just vote for her because she's a woman. Trump,
So we are
I don't know.
here. Minus 1 media relations,
Trump did beat a woman before.
2 domestic.
Do it again.
Okay, so domestic 1. We can gun for that still. I need to pay attention. Is there anything else I need to do? I can work on improving this. That is something I'm allowed to just directly try to do. I want to do this. That's what I want to do.
No, not really.
This is
I
tough
mean, I have
because I don't get any modifiers.
every day.
I'm trying to grab the sheet because I don't remember how it resolves.
That we can pick. Like, is it better if we go with mana? Like, what?
So this is a domestic, encouraged by partisanship. Alright, first of all, it cost me an action point to do this.
Change yourself to defensive tips. Think about it.
So I'm going to reduce that by 1.
Dude, I didn't.
Second,
I should start playing better. I should actually start playing better. Holy, like, so bad.
yeah, I get no modifiers here. So I need a 2 or less. It's that simple. So I'm going to spend another action point to re-roll.
Peace out, Syria.
Oh, that's even worse. That's even worse. That's much worse. So I lose party relations by 1, which causes me to lose one of these. I'm going to go ahead and lose the radical.
And time to bring that alliance back with that. Now, vote for me again, Syria.
Alright, so that was 1 action. I'm going to try again. Action 2.
No! They gotta.
I rolled a 3,
Upper burgundy myself.
and again, it cost me an AP to do, and I'm going to spend another AP
I'm gonna just
to reroll.
I sorted them on manpower.
There we go. Got it back to at least to 2, which is what I need. This gives me another bonus, but I don't necessarily need that. I just need to get it back to 2. So it took me 2 actions to get there, and that's all I had was 2. This hurts,
Why am I losing?
but hopefully I can get that back up. And now we do legislative.
Can you die, you stupid?
Alright. Sum up all of our friends. Are we at greater than 3? Of course we are. Add up all this minus that. 2, 3, 4, 5. So
I just want to be emperor because I want to.
you get to move that many things 1 box. So 1, 2, and that's all I can do.
I know.
Can only move 1 box.
I'm winning. This is literally a W Kirby game right now.
Attempt to pass pending bills. So this is a D6 roll. We get to decide because we control Congress.
I need to get Swabia.
Apply the DRM in the pending box. So the DRM would be this, like a -2, where in this case it'd be a 0. So we're going to try to pass 2 of them. So we're going to do healthcare reform. I just moved it over so I could read it. So we're going to do a -2 on that one. Horrible roll. We're gonna try to pass it again.
You ally with me, you get a vassal sword. That's what you
Do I have to choose two different ones?
They can just expanded their land.
I'm gonna try again. A 4 minus 2 puts me to approve. Oh, by the way, these would
Frankie doesn't generate.
come back.
If they're gonna join, it's
Right, healthcare reform passed. Everything else is still lingering. I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 4 items up there. So I am going to, of course, sign it. And we're going to have to see what we get for this. I really was hoping we would have passed 2 of them. That 6 roll stunk. Okay, healthcare reform is number 7. All we gotta see is this a good bill or a stinky bill. It's just a regular bill. Alright. +2 public approval. And then we roll.
That's a lot. Can you just take just Janela?
Ah,
Yeah, that's much more manageable.
okay, this is a really bizarre outcome.
Right now, I do not want the coalition. That's why I did not take my.
Um, because I rolled that
To me,
6,
it was like I don't want to.
we draw an opponent. My media values are still 3 to 2, but it's no longer a +3 anymore. And it's a really bizarre thing. You pass healthcare reform. It says draw / place 1 new congressional opponent. Okay, so I would never have passed that one if I would have paid attention. Why did I do that? It is our number 1 on both spots. That's why. That's why. So let's go get our rewards for that. I get a legacy point and 4 APs.
What, the coalition gets you?
1, 2, 3, 4. And then because it's the publics, I get 2 more legacy points. 1, 2. And then more public approval. And then we just knocked this one and this one out of the box.
Hello?
So we passed everything there is to pass.
Yeah.
Alright, then we're going to do how sausage is made.
I'm sort of playing Mappies. I'm playing my Mappies.
So it's a 5. Our RWC is not 7 or greater anymore.
So this guy called Flynn.
Bipartisan's not in the rightmost box, but we do get a -1
Um,
because our friends outnumber, and another -1 because we're greater than 60%.
so I'm sort of playing with him.
And I need to roll a d10. So we're going to get a -2.
And that's why.
That's going to be good.
But
So we landed on 2
no, no, no. You'll have me all day tomorrow.
if the RWC is 4 to 5, improved by 1 box, but draw an opponent. This is all of a sudden getting precarious. Introduce new bills. We do have control. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't introduce another one of these. I'll do.
Nathan, come to the game.
We're gonna do Homeland Security.
I will be. Yes.
I can.
Would you not want to be? I think it's a W.
I'm gonna remove Social Security since it belonged to the opponents anyways. It is one of theirs, but who cares? We're gonna remove that one.
Dude.
And I want to help out NASA.
Dude, France.
Let's do that one.
Why is he 60? Just die.
All right. Determine the media result. Now this is where it gets interesting. They have a 4. We have a 3. So we actually lose a public approval. And we don't make the media track go up by 1 anymore.
No, if he just
We did pass, so we get 1 action. And that 1 action is we're going to try to bring back Japan. And I'm going to spend an AP to roll again. And I do. Welcome back, Japan. Alright, that was our 1 action. We needed to do that for sure. Draw a crisis. 2 cards.
Wait,
1, 2.
Why? No.
Uh-oh. Place 1 tensions counter on.
Oh, yeah.
So we now got 2 of them. Then roll a d10. 3. Move the terror group in the highest intel box worldwide
Actually, yeah, there's no reason not to.
down by 1 box.
Thank you very much.
That one or that one?
No, bro, my personal unit.
Okay, 1 to 3 is the Eurozone.
Well, I'm still the Emperor, I guess. I can get it back. I can get it back. No, I got only.
Alright, I'm glad that's over.
Joining the Empire, at least 20.
Oh, there's another one. Plus 1 domestic crisis.
Okay. Friesland is
1
now
tensions counter on cabinet.
Friesland. Why? I don't know. I chose it.
Roll a d10 for a random region. 3. Central America. Increase a level 3 to 1 terror group in that region by 1 level. So they now have a level 4.
That does piss me off though that I lost that PU. Because
Make a
they-
Homeland Security check, which is now a 3. Of course, we fail. Plus 1 domestic crisis.
Guys, I'm using 800 manpower. I actually feel. Oh, I feel
Minus
so
3
bad.
public approval. The group plans further attacks. So we get another level 1. It's just a vicious cycle right now. The media slant does happen. And this does not get discarded. Unless we passed. It goes into reshuffle. You suck. The media slant is still plus 1 PA. That's done. Now we do focused intelligence and then 1 action for everybody. Okay, focused intelligence.
Who's some mods?
We're going to roll for the Middle East. I rolled a 1. I'm not going to do the DRMs. We get to move a 3-2-1 in that priority to the targeting box.
Some mods.
Everybody's already in.
Mods. Oh, Caranolia.
Oh, targeting is this one. Okay. So we're going to move him to the targeting box.
That's what I'm getting pop-ups for.
If there are any remaining, they go into the gathering box. If you go to war, not worried about that. I can add 2 strength to my side, or if there's a civil war, I can help. I guess I'll just add 2 strength. We are definitely dominating them. Now we're going to roll for Africa. Much worse roll. 6, 5, 4. We get to move one to the locating box. I'm going to put it underneath. Yeah, that's fine. And then we can choose if there's a civil war and a reason. We can try to intervene and do a -2. Let's do that. Here's your chart. At 4 and -2, we got a permanent peace going on. That was a harder one to resolve. So very well done. And then we get to reduce regional crisis by 1. It was already reduced. But we got rid of all the civil wars. That's a good outcome. Coming back up. Now we get to do actions for everybody. So let's do domestic first. I'm going to spend 1 to get rid of 2 tensions. So that's 1 domestic action. I got this to go after. I have this that's a little bit of a problem. I now have this as a problem. So all of a sudden we got issues. So I can try to discredit a political opponent. My public approval is 60% or greater. I'm going to spend an AP to reduce it by 1. And so 60% or greater, so that's at -2. I get to use the rating of my chief of staff, which is just a 1. That 2 always misleads me. But that is a -3 to my roll. I have to... The RWC is high enough, I don't get a penalty there. But the opponent has a 3 that I'm trying to get rid of, so they add a +1. So it's actually going to be a -2. I'm rolling this, and that is perfecto. So I send this one back into the cup. That's important because the media thing and everything was going against me. By the way, I don't know where I missed it, but this should have moved over as part of the because our moderates outweigh the... It was somewhere in here. Right here. I skipped that. I went straight to getting the extra action. So we got that moved up. We're doing this guy. We did 1 action to remove everything. 1 action to do that. We're done. I'm going to do, for the VP, I'm going to do 1 action to remove this tension as well. Next thing we're going to do is 2 actions for the diplomatic side. We're going to get to do more here. So let's just get rid of influence. We're going to try, let's focus on we're going to get the ones in Africa. First one. It's done. Second one.
What is Frankie's?
I need to spend an AP to reroll.
270.
Done. So 2 Chinese influence gone.
Wait, actually. Holy cow.
I do need to go after this.
Oh my gosh.
So what I'm going to do is for my military actions, the first one is we're going to do military aid in this region. And I need to look it up. I never remember what this works, how this works.
Oh
So I do get to subtract 2 from my military rating, so I've dropped it to a 4. But we add 1 because there's influence in the region, which is going to only reduce this by 1, which is fine. That's what I wanted. We have a level 2 rogue state. I don't know how excited I am to go to war with them. We progress wars one more time over here. We can cyber attack somebody. I have no army here. I do have these. So I'd be at 6-7 against a level 2 rogue state. Oof. 8. Alright, so what do I want to do for my other military? We can attack terror groups. It's never a bad thing. We can try to remove... Yeah, we're going to try to help the Middle East. Same thing. We're going to roll. This time we got a super low. We put a trending pro-US. And receive a goodwill counter. We're swimming in those. Remove 1 footprint counter from the region, which is sort of what we were trying to do. The one funny thing is if you roll really well, you don't get to reduce the regional crisis. If you don't roll well, you do get to reduce it. It's a very interesting outcome from this. The cyber attack might have been a possibility. Because like I could have cyber attacked that rogue state, for example. But I'm going to leave it be. That's our 2. And then we have 1 presidential action. Man, I don't like any of these. We can increase regional alignment by visiting a country. We can ask somebody to resign. We can improve an ally to very close, which we already did earlier. We can try to create goodwill. We can lobby support for a Congress bill. It's just going to move a box. I mean, we could try to... Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to do. Let's try to move this box right here. So I'm going to roll d6. I am not looking at my screen. That does cost me an AP. And I get a -1 because I'm at 60%. -1 for cooperation. Let's get a -2. Why did I get a 6? I need to spend to roll again. A 5 gets me down to a 3, which is what I needed. So I get to move a bill 1 space. And I'm going to go ahead and move this one. So there it is. We are done. Now we move here and we can do any 4. And by setting this up, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 all right here. We're going after Russia first. That was 1. Gonna go after China.
I would say a raft is cheaper than a canoe.
That's a 3. Then we're gonna go after Russia.
Oh yeah.
I'll spend an AP to roll again. Now, I know we're not at the end, but I was getting excited to go gung ho here.
I think cutting out a
But we're
lot
going to do another summit with Russia. I don't need to do China. We'll do Russia. So let's go. And you know, they're super low. We still only get to do one action. As long as that's a 5 or less, I don't even have to look it up. Crap. Now I have to look it up. Five or less, they wholeheartedly agree. With a 7, put an improving economy counter on them. We're never going to get them to have a lower economy, but that's fine. So then they agree to move up. So now we're rolling. This needs to be low. We were successful. 100%, 1 of 1, and we rolled a 3. Plus 1 public approval. Remove 1 tension counter from Russia. And they're trending pro-US, which is going to get canceled at the end of the round, but that's still good. Yes, so that's what I needed to do to end this. So anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.